Georgia has no money to spend. Everyone else has a ton of money to spend.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, number one sports podcast network in the world. Excited to be with you here. He is Clint. I am Daniel. Happy to have you along. Thanks for making us part of your everyday routine. We greatly appreciate it. And today, as Clint said, we're talking about how Georgia is woefully behind the rest of college football. If the cold open had been in text form, it would have had those red siren light emojis like right next to it. Just this is
exactly right.
Everyone panic, everyone freak out, because we're talking about NIL spending. We're talking about who's got it, who doesn't have it, and what it means for Georgia. All of those things covered in
There's
detail.
3
Segments 1, 2, and 3. It's important to roadmap for the people where we're going to go, and so that's what we're doing today. Clint, as we jump into this conversation, it's a new world. It's a brave new world of college football, right? And again, we've said this before, if this is not your preference, this is not your preferred system of college football.
Sure.
Okay. It's probably not mine either. It's probably not Clint's either. Like, it doesn't really matter, see, because college football is still great, A, and it's not going back.
No.
B. So this is what it is. At some point, we've said there's going to become even greater regulation, even greater oversight, and that will be good for college football as a whole. NIL hurts dynasties, and therefore it hurts Georgia. So it hurts the elite of the elite of the elite, because it brings a bunch of Miamis up to a level that approaches Georgia. It allows inferior coaches and inferior programs to pretend to be relevant from time to time. And you're going to see that continually perpetuated in college football. So there's going to be more competition at the top because of NIL. And I think this conversation today will bear that out and sort of prove that point. Now, some people are going to spend frivolously and the money's not going to equate to wins. But I think overall, over the long haul, money is going to lead to wins most of the time, right? I mean, sometimes the Mets are terrible.
Yeah,
terrible.
Daniel, you just hit on something I talked about last week. I gave the top 5 spending NFL teams and the top 5 spending MLB teams. Now, you can tell me college football's not like that. Well, yeah. People, friends, it's closer to that than what it was.
Much closer. And I would say just the other side of that point is, for every Mets, there's a Dodgers, friends. And no matter how much you wish it wasn't true, the Dodgers are the Dodgers because they don't have a budget. They don't have a payroll. The Yankees are the Yankees because they don't have a budget. They don't have a payroll. So again,
now you have to be wise with this. You have to you can't just free spend because you have roster spots and roster conditions. And again, regulation is coming. There will be a cap for incoming freshmen, more than likely, just like the rookie deals in the NFL are capped.
Yeah.
Again, don't like it.
By the way, when that happens, there's going to be at least double the amount of transfers after year one that there are currently. Yeah.
100.
There's also transfer regulation coming, I'm sure, at some point that says you can only transfer once in your college career or whatever.
The executive order that has said that, and more will come around to codify it. You get one transfer, you get a salary cap for incoming freshmen, because the rest of the players that already are there want bona fide dudes, just like the NFL. It's because NFL junior is what the college ranks is going to become.
Yeah.
Which again, you might not like, but here it is. So yes, the Mets suck. Great. The Phillies suck. Great. They're going to have winning seasons. The Dodgers are there. You have to be wise with your money. You don't just get to write blank checks all the time to anybody because
you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't do that.
But Miami fan, Daniel, has their way into our podcast.
I listen. We welcome Miami. It's a great medium for them because there's not much reading when it comes to a podcast. This is a really nice thing that they can listen to on their way. Yeah, on their way to or from rec time. So it's a really nice platform for Miami fan.
It is.
And we're happy to talk about non-championship things so that Miami fans can relate. We'll talk about things that don't involve winning anything.
We talk about Kalen DeBoer in Alabama a lot.
Sure.
So
yeah. So we're here to be relatable to everyone, including people that haven't won a championship in their lifetime. So,
but yeah, NIL is fascinating. The thing we want to talk about, we talk about the changing landscape. We want to talk about the biggest spenders and then how it applies to Georgia. The changing landscape in NIL is this, and it's fine to say this because Daniel opened with this. Georgia spends money. Now, they are not required. Kirby Smart does not legally have an obligation to tell you how much he has spent on his team.
But I want to know. I'm a fan. I'm a season ticket holder.
Let me tell you, if Kirby Smart doesn't have a legal obligation, he won't do it.
He ain't telling you. So
is he legally obligated to tell you the injury report in detail? Nope. Nah. Will he? Nope. Nah. Could he have been good to go if we needed him?
He probably could have played if we needed him. I'll tell you that.
Coach, I literally saw his artery splayed open to everybody.
Right. His finger was hanging off of his hand.
He could have gone if we needed him.
He could have gone if we needed him to.
Okay, so same with NIL. The rest of college football, and here's where it's going to get interesting because Georgia does spend. Period.
Yeah. Okay. As is evidenced by
the people
that players
get good players and stay there. Okay. We retain talent. We don't go talent shopping because Kirby knows how to keep it. When there's a deficit because he can't bat 1,000 and some recruits don't pan out, he will go fill the roster holes. He's using NIL exactly how it was intended to be. Reward the people that perform. Go find other people to fill the holes that you don't have. Don't build your base on it because that's mercenary, and that's where you lead to the Miamis of the world. And you can say Miami is going to be this incredible team. Mensa, that's your quarterback.
We'll see.
We'll see. Right.
All you have to do is be right every year. Bat 1,000 every year, and you'll probably be good.
Oh no!
You'll probably be good.
Oh no! We're going to talk about the teams. Where does Georgia rank on the spending of most expensive college? And again, this is the other thing we have to understand. With NIL valuations, we're not talking cold hard dollar cash. That's not what we're talking about. Because there's valuation, there's endorsements, there's future contracts, there's escrow stuff. There's a whole lot of things that it is not just simply we pay you this amount.
CPA to talk about this. Can we get a CPA on the podcast? Get in here. All right, we're going to talk about. Lord, we're going to break it down. We're going to simplify everything. All that stuff Clint just said. Forget about it. Miami fan, don't go away. We're going to make it real baseline simple. We're going to tell you where does Georgia rank in terms of spending? Who are the teams above them? Who are the teams below them? And what does that mean for Georgia in the future? But first, these.
And these are, in fact, Wayfair. Daniel, every single style that you have, if you were to give your home a style name, Daniel, how would you classify your
English
style?
Cottage.
English Cottage is what Daniel's going with. And guess what? Wayfair, that's where I want to go if I want English Cottage because they make it easy to find and match the vibe, the English Cottage that you want. Daniel has a need in a very nice screened-in patio that has a fantastic little viewing area, a nice little seating area. He goes to wayfair.com to get that English Cottage style right outside.
I need an end table for that patio. I'm about to be on Wayfair as soon as we hang up here.
See, here's where we go. Space actually feels put together now with that side end table that Daniel has. Be prepared for patio seasons for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's Wayfair, WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Daniel, we're back talking about the Bulldogs and talking about how in the world does NIL reflect Georgia. Now, here's the deal. There are top valuations. And again, let me streamline and simplify. You have an amount of resources that you are putting into acquiring and retaining talent for your school. Okay. Mm-hmm. Whether that be future contracts, future endorsements, future payouts, escrow, it doesn't just, there is a percent dollar that you are putting resources to. Some of it comes in cash. Some of it comes in assets. When you talk about wealth, you don't just say, how much money do you have in your bank account? That's one aspect. Your home is an asset that has wealth to it. So think of it like that. What are the teams and how much energy, resources, and assets do they spend on getting their roster and maintaining their roster? Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you the top 10 list. And this top 10 list is very interesting because you can fight it. You can go whatever you want off of it. No one is reporting these exactly because it's kind of like taxes. Daniel and I, when we do our taxes, we spell it out because we don't want to mess. Board. We do not want to mess with anything. That's not our, no, thank you. Keep that smoke away. Other teams may not do that. Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's no hard and fast rule, but based upon valuations, based upon industry insiders, here are the top 10 spending rosters for this coming season. Daniel, I give you 10 through 1, all the way up to the most expensive roster for this year. Coming out number 10 is Texas Tech, $36.3 million. Some of that is still in an escrow account of a different kind with a guy named Frank who has pen and paper and a book. Because
a large portion of that could have been wagered on Texas Tech games last season by Texas Tech players.
There it is.
So there's
Texas Tech, number 10, number 9, Tennessee, number 8, Alabama, 7, Texas A&M, 6, Notre Dame, 5, Oregon, 4, LSU. You might be asking yourself a very important question, Daniel. When am I going to hear Georgia's name? Hold on.
When?
3, Ohio State, 2, Miami, the team that fans just told me.
Number one fan base.
Our number one fan base that said, we develop talent, we don't pay for it.
Yeah.
And number 1, Texas. Now, Daniel. There was a name.
You said wait for it, and then
there's nothing to wait for.
There was nothing
Friends,
there.
There's no Georgia on this list.
Yeah.
Now, again, partly because.
Let's review the list before we jump into the Georgia implications and all of this. Let's jump into the list. 5 SEC teams on the list. Clint, Texas at number 1. And the SEC schools, I think that you would expect to find on the list. We know LSU spending money, particularly with Lane coming to town. Like, Ole Miss would have been on this list for the last couple years, Clint. Ole Miss is not on the list this year. No. This is Lane's MO, right? Like, this is who Lane Kiffin is. So with LSU getting Lane Kiffin, you know that they're going to be on the list. You know that they're going to be spending. That's one of the things that I'm sure is a stipulation in his contract. And then you got your Alabamas, obviously Texas A&M. Those are going to be spenders. You got your Alabamas, Tennessee, desperate to be relevant. A fan base that just reeks of desperation. Also just reeks because of lack of showers, but that's neither here nor there.
They can jump in with a goalpost in the river.
It is down by 5 SEC schools on the list.
Correct.
And then, of course, you're going to have your Ohio States. You're going to have your Miamis. You're going to have Texas Tech, was a huge spender last offseason. And listen, this is what I'm trying to say. So let's use Texas Tech as a case study.
This is a case study. Thank you. Love this.
Texas Tech spent a buttload of money. That was the actual a financial term for the amount of money that they spent last year. They spent a buttload of money. And Texas Tech went from being, and I don't mean to over-exaggerate here. They went from being completely irrelevant to the entire landscape of college football, full stop, to making the college football playoff, Clint. in 1 year because they spent a buttload of money. They had the best defensive line in all of college football last year.
They did.
Because they spent a buttload of money.
The second biggest spending team last year was Texas Tech.
Right. They got a bunch of oil money, and some of those oil money guys said, you know what? I'm tired of Texas Tech not being good at football. I think I want Texas Tech, not just Texas A&M, Texas. I want Texas A&M to be good, or Texas Tech to be good at football. And they were. That's what can happen. And so it's not your guys that spend money. I mean, you look at Miami. We're poking a lot of fun at Miami. They made the national championship game last year. They gave Carson Beck a ton of money.
That's what I find so hilarious about this Miami fan. The point is, you spent money and you got to a national championship. You paid players to come play for you, just like Texas Tech. You're in the same category as Texas Tech.
It's not an insult. It's just a statement of fact.
It's just what literally is before me.
And that's, you can go from being completely irrelevant, which Miami was, Texas Tech was.
They were.
To being a championship contending team.
Yes.
That's what Texas Tech and Miami both were last year. Championship contending team. Now they fell short. They didn't get the job done. Obviously, the team that did get the job done is not on this list. They're doing things a different way. And maybe we'll get to that in the third segment, because it is a model that's more similar to what Georgia's doing, interestingly enough. But it's not a bad thing to be on this list, because how else was Texas Tech going to get relevant? Like, Kurt Cignettis don't grow on trees. Some people tied up all their money in Mario Cristobal, for God's sake. How else were they going to get relevant other than buying players? There's no other way.
Has a reputation and a track record. Mario has a reputation and track record. They're not the same track record nor reputation. You pay for those things.
Yeah, so it's not it can work being on this list. Look at Ole Miss last year. Big spending team. Hey, Clint, in the next 2 to 3 years, and then let's say in the next 5 years, over under 3.5 college football playoff appearances for LSU. Clint, quick, go.
I'm going to take the under on that, Daniel.
Oh, I'm taking the over. It's 4 to 5 college football playoff appearances in the next 5 years for LSU. Look at Ole Miss last year. That's the case study. Ole Miss, we think, is going to fall into a well, because now they have the coach that they have, and they have the spending that they have. But that's not.
That's what I'm. Mm-hmm.
If you spend the money every year, and you have GMs and you have talent evaluators, like, you're going to be able to construct rosters that are better than most rosters in college football.
Yes.
And as the college football playoff continues to grow and expand, you're going to be able to get yourself in a position to compete for championships. And again, for some of these schools, that's what they have to do. They simply have to do that. Now, there are some schools on this list that are, I would say, different than the others. Because they actually do have some form of quality coaching to go along with the spending.
Let me be if you haven't heard from me on this already offseason, Texas is going to be a very, very, very good team this year. They will make the college football playoff, and they will go far into it. Steve Sarkisian is great at X's and O's. They have a good quarterback who might become great this year, and they have a ton of talent and speed around him. Maybe not on defense. They might have to win 34 points per game, but I think they can easily do that. Texas is on this list. Ohio State is on this list because they have very good players.
They're different than Miami. They're different than Texas. They're different than Tennessee.
They are far different than Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like, holy geez. Notre Dame. I like Marcus Freeman. They are a different team. You put money in the right hands on how they spend and how they develop it. It's a different story. Those are two separate entities.
If you want to know whether or not that's true, look at the players transferring out of those schools. And that will tell you which teams on the list are different. That will tell you who hired a bunch of mercenaries and who paid to bring in talent.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference. And so it's not bad to be on this list. Some of these teams have a lot more staying power on this list than others because guess who's
100%.
going to get tired of paying for losers? Everyone.
Everybody.
And so when you don't win, and it's a win, not if, Miami fan, when you don't win, you will fall off this list because spending will decrease because you're not going to have like an MLB owner who just funnels the money into the club, whether the club wins or loses.
Ew.
This money is coming from a constituency who's going to go, you know what? I will pass. I'm not going to be making my donations this year. I'm not going to be attending the gala that's being hosted this year, and therefore NIL spending is going to follow. Let's talk about Georgia.
Please.
Their place in this pecking order and the model that Kirby is using and how it compares to these other schools. But first, these.
And Daniel, these are in fact Indeed. If you are trying to hire and find people to come on your team, you don't want a whole bunch of mercenaries that you're just throwing money at people who suck at their job. You don't want that.
That's not what you want.
People. It's almost like Indeed is actually doing something for us and they know what's going on. If workplace chaos, deadline stacking up, pressure is on, you need the right hire. Indeed Sponsored Jobs helps you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for. Here's something that's really interesting. In the minute that I'll be talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. If you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all the boxes. Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing. Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Listeners of the show will get $75 in sponsored job credit to help get the job premium status it deserves. Indeed.com/podcast. Indeed.com/podcast right now. Support our show by saying you heard about us, heard about Indeed on our podcast. Need to hire. This is a job for Indeed, but also, Daniel, Rocket Money.
Rocket Money
is fantastic. We love Rocket Money. We love finding out where our money goes and how we are spending it. And if you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, at the end of the month, where does all of this go? Don't worry. You're not the U.S. government, so you can actually go ahead and find where it goes. You can track it. It's very simple.
Oh, interesting.
Rocket Money can be that thing. Maybe we should get a big, large amount of Rocket.
Yeah. Just head over to rocketmoney.gov and you will be able to.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Rocket Money comes in, help you take control of your finances all in one place. Track subscriptions, automatically categorizes your spending. Rocket Money is personal finance app that helps you find and cancel unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills. Rocket Money can help you reach your financial goals faster. Rocketmoney.com. Daniel /locked on. Rocketmoney.com/locked on. Get over there now.
So we jump back into this conversation. Not all teams are created the same. I mentioned, the team that won the national championship last year, Indiana, not on this list. Indiana's got a big NIL budget. They're not far down this list. I promise you they're not outside the top 20 on this list. NIL is spending, or Indiana's spending money. So is Georgia. But that's not where they are. That's not where the bread is buttered for those programs. It is in the coaching and development and retention business where those programs are seeking to win long term.
There it is.
So that's the model that Georgia is going with. Now, we're going to see, and I'll be honest with you. I think it's the best sustainable long-term model that there is.
Okay.
But I can't definitively tell you that. Like, I can't definitively tell you that if Georgia doesn't get, so it used to be very simple in college football, right? You looked at recruiting rankings. Blue chip ratios was a famous, thing that was. You look at these recruiting rankings. Guess what? If you look over the last 4 years and your team's not in the top 10 in the recruiting rankings, you can hope for a good season all you want, but your team ain't winning no national championship. Period. No. Full stop. Not going to do it. We may get 10, 20 years into the future, Clint, and we may say, you can hope all you want, but if you look at this NIL spending list and your team's not in the top 10, you're not winning a national championship. And guess what? Georgia hasn't won a national championship in this era of college football yet. They have made the playoffs. They have, won the SEC. They have been a top 2 or 3 team heading into the postseason in college football. They have not gotten it done in the playoffs to this point. I think that has more to do with the parity of college football. I think still the number one name of the game is giving yourself opportunities to win championships, and then just seeing how many of them you can get, which Georgia is doing. But we may find out that, no, you have to be the number 1, number 2, number 3 spender in college football in order to win championships.
Maybe.
I don't think that's how it's going to go. I think schools like Georgia are going to have more long-term sustained success, meaning they're going to be there year in and year out. And some years, is a flash in the pan going to be better than them? Yeah. Look at Ole Miss last year. They beat Georgia when it mattered the most, and they were a flash in the pan school. They were a spend all of your money, get guys on campus for 1 year, and try to make something of it. And it worked for them in the sense that they were able to advance farther than Georgia in the postseason tournament.
Yep.
But there's nothing about this list that makes me go like, oh, well, Georgia needs to change everything about what they're doing. Georgia needs to whatever. Nothing. There's no part of me that has any concern about what Georgia's spending.
Let me give you last year's NFL teams and their spending. Again, I get it. College is different. You have a shorter evaluation period. College, you have more to work with to understand skill and talent, but it's junior version of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Top spenders last year: Jacksonville 1, Vikings 2, Buffalo 3, San Francisco 4, Kansas City 5. Kansas City has an accident or an injury to their most valuable player, goes down. I get it. Minnesota 9 and 8, Jacksonville 13 and 4, Buffalo 12 and 5. How about we go 6 through 10? Dallas is the 6th most spending money team. Browns number 7. 10, Baltimore goes 8 and 9. 11, Miami goes 7 and 10. Here are some of the
playoff teams on that list, Clint. There's some playoff teams on that list.
Okay,
just like we talked
Buffalo,
about.
San Francisco, absolutely. Denver, New England. Okay,
I haven't heard you say the Seahawks yet. Did you say this?
Let's go on down to the 29th spending team, Seattle Seahawks. How about the 31st spending team, LA Rams? How about the 24th spending team, the Eagles? Do you notice a pattern that is assimilating and happening before your very eyes, people? Is there only one guaranteed success way in college football? Nope.
No.
You can be Indiana and Georgia and selectively choose who you're going to reward. Or you can be the Cleveland Browns, Miami fans.
Yeah. I mean, you can't actually, because there's only so many of those coaches, Clint. That's not a commodity like dollars. You understand? Anyone can be Texas Tech or Miami. Yes. Literally. But you have to have a Kirby Smart to be in the other category.
Correct.
And that's why the list of teams in that category is pretty small. Pretty small.
Let me tell you some coaches that I think, and there's a team on this list that we haven't said that he's getting closer. But A&M is about to run the whole state of Texas.
But yeah, listen, but it doesn't have to be like elite Kirby Smart level. We think Sark is a good coach.
He is.
Right? We know damn well Mario Cristobal is not a good coach.
No.
It's empirically proven.
Correct.
We think Marcus Freeman's a good coach.
Yeah.
We think Elko is a good coach.
Yeah.
We think that Ryan Day is a good coach.
Yep.
We know that Kirby Smart and Kirk Signetti are elite coaches. You have to have a guy to be in that camp, right? You have to have a guy. And there are only so many guys. So you say anyone can do it. Nope. Anyone can be on the other list.
To be a Brown.
And you can win sometimes on that list, right? You can win. It's not like we didn't list off any playoff teams, right? The Jacksonville Jaguars had a great season last year, and they were a playoff team.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Bills, same. But for Georgia to be where they are is a much better scenario. And if I may, just to put a cherry on top of the show, Josh Brooks, go find money for the basketball team. Do your actual job and get money for the basketball team, please. We are begging. We're begging you.
Literally.
It's your job. Go do it. Thank you.
He is Daniel and Clint. This is Locked On Bulldogs for our Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Miami fans, we'll see you guys tomorrow. See you then.